remote stuff is they can get it done without having to run over. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the November 17th, 2025 Commissioners Meeting. There are Title VI forms in the back corner by the door if you'd like to fill one of those out and return it to the auditor's office. And if you'd please rise. Janet, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you'll remain standing, Dennis Spears from New Point Christian Church will lead us in prayer.
Heavenly Father, we thank you this morning, Father, for the ability to be able to make changes, the ability to be able to do things for this community. We thank you for this community, this county. Father, we just pray that you would be with all those who are here this morning, whether those making decisions or bringing up things or whatever. Father, we just pray that your will would be done for this community. We pray, Father, that you would just continue to bless us and in so many different ways that you do. Pray, Father, that you would just help us to continue to grow closer together, grow as a community, and be the people that you need us to be. We love you. We thank you for Jesus. In his name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Oh, you already got out of there. Okay. Starting off with the review of the November 3rd meeting minutes. Christy, Todd pointed out under the Highway Department section, it says, was it page or pager? And it should be Pacer. Yep.
Okay.
Paser. Did you guys see anything else?
I did not.
All right. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve the November 3rd minutes.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries. Did you guys have an opportunity to look at the claims?
I didn't have anything on claims.
Look good to me.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve claims.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to payroll. We had payroll for the week of November 7th, 2025 in the amount of $408,566.54.
I did.
Payroll looked fine.
Yep.
I make a motion to approve payroll.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Payroll's approved. All right, Todd Hauk from the Highway Department. Good morning.
Well, since we've met last, still continue to do the maintenance items, mowing, patching, grading roads, bush hogging, bridge work on 167 in Westport. We had our second and third field trip at the Highway Department on Thursday. Anyhow, the JAG class from high school, Jessica Barker's in charge of that. She brought over a morning group of kids and an afternoon group of kids. Went very well. They had a lot of questions. We kind of just informed them of the assets that we're responsible for. So I think it went pretty well. Had 200 ton of salt delivered this last week. Had quarterly bridge meeting with NDOT. We're in compliance for bridge inspection. I got the bridge asset management plan uploaded into LTAP. And currently we are on schedule to get the bridge beams delivered December 9th for the bridge in Westport. Other than that, that's all I have. Do you gentlemen have anything for me?
So what's the timeline then for the bridge in Westport for it being completed?
We're trying to have that done before Christmas.
Okay.
Tim and I are still working on the pricing on that culvert in New Point.
Okay. just the pricing it all out and.
Yeah.
Okay. From the, I'm sure Tim has looked at this, but from the water flow rates, would we have to increase the size of the culvert there?
Dramatically.
Okay. So it's undersized where it's at right now. Okay. All right. Very good. Yeah, just when you get that info, let me know, and then I can talk with the folks down at New Point and see where that goes. You guys have anything?
That was one of the things I wanted to bring up was what was going on at the
Yep.
Culver Viewpoint, but other than that.
Okay. All right, we're gonna have Mr. Dickman. I know there was a concern that you had on 200. So if you just want to go ahead and hop up and explain what your concern is, and
Yeah, in 2013, I paid to have the county road 200 South blacktop in front of my daughter's house, but couldn't keep the cars clean. And this past September, during harvest, seen go down to the end of where I blacktopped, and then turns in the gravel. They cut it down 2-3 inches. Well, I thought, well, they're gonna blacktop the rest or chip and seal. Well, they left, and they went up the road to Taylor Court. They cut 280 and then blacktop. I think they made a mistake and cut my blacktop. Now I got a hump like that. It was tapered, and I like to have that fixed. Nope, I seen a truck there, but there's nothing that done. Checked yesterday. They may have put stone, but no blacktop. I mean, I was this fall driving the drain trucks and wagons across. I went down there 2 times and raked loose gravel up, but the loose gravel just takes off. And also, when I did that 12 years ago, Mark Moore, I worked with him. He told me 3 options I could do on that road: chip and seal it, put a coat on, or I could do the best, put a base coat and a top coat. So I did the base coat, top coat. So now, with that road, if there needs any repairs or patching, is that my baby or is that the county's?
It'd be the county's responsibility.
You know, the last 12 years, I probably saved them. I don't know how many loads of stone on that.
How long a piece
Ooh,
is that,
shoot.
Dennis?
Ooh, man. I spent 19,600 is what I wrote the check for, and then I spent 1,000 on 53s. I dressed both sides myself that fall.
Yeah.
It's a ways.
Yeah.
Of course, now it's probably 50,000,
Yeah.
60 to do that.
yeah, it's still a county road, so it would still be under our responsibility to
Okay.
maintain. Yeah. So, yeah, if Todd, if you can just make sure that's taken care of this week would be preferable. And if something hasn't happened, Mr. Dickman, go ahead and give us a call.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you coming
Dennis.
in.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else for Todd?
I don't.
Okay. Doug Westerfeld, area plan.
Good morning. I just wanted to give an update on the comprehensive plan. We started with we had a kickoff meeting last week with SERPC and HWC, and they've put together, HWC that is, a project onboarding plan. So this week I'll be putting together the steering committee, which will probably be about 15 individuals from the community. And that first meeting with them will be scheduled for December the 11th. And then as far as the community workshops, they'll begin next year after this holiday season. So in January as well, we'll really be ramping up and kicking off and moving full bore. The goal is to have this done by the end of next year. So I just wanted to bring everybody up to speed with that project.
I was at the SERPC meeting Wednesday in Versailles, and we had a discussion about this. And, I thank them for the help with the Ochre grant and all, so that we talked about our onboarding and how it's going, so.
Yep.
Very good.
Yep.
I think their projected completion date was November of '26.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yes.
yeah, so it's a good timeline. I think it fits with everything that we have in place, and yep. Has there been any discussion to the other count or the other areas about hopping in on the comp?
Yeah, so I had a meeting with them last month. We had a small town community meeting with all the leaders from those towns. I don't believe any of them have the resources at this point
Okay.
to jump on board. St. Paul they have their own.
Yeah.
They're doing their own, but New Point, Millhouse, and Westport they just can't come up to grips with the funds to take care of that. And they understand the benefits of it. A lot of these plans, obviously, it's the ability to have a plan and project forward of what you want your community to look like, but also they're an asset for those communities when it comes to getting grants to put those, make those future goals come to light. So.
No. Any other questions for Doug? Anything from the well? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ryan Robbins?
I just saw that, but it won't open.
Oh, won't open? Wonderful. Am I able to project, or is that a hassle to get going? Usually a plug-in.
I don't know where's the plug for the. I think it's in the storage room. Yeah.
Do it from there, but I think it's a dongle thing like that. Is there not a cable sitting there?
IT.
It's the one that says it's the one that says meeting room though. Not there's two different Wi-Fi's.
And then
Okay.
it'll pop on here in a second.
Yeah.
Open. I can't.
Nope.
Good. But it's working now.
It works now.
Yeah, but earlier, he's asking you a question.
The app on my desktop, or how do I have to download?
Dave will fix it if it's not.
How about you?
He has to leave. Yes.
You're signing everything away now. If you could, just leave us your password too. When you
Yeah, exactly, do a little dance. Well, what I can do while this is downloaded is explain what the housing needs analysis is and what it isn't. It's all downloaded. It's a assessment of what we have, what the current status of our housing market is, and what we have as far as infrastructure and such in the housing field. What it's more of a diagnosis, not necessarily a prognosis. So what, and I'll just start on my slides as he gets here. What the project overview was is that, they started off with the project launch course. They took a look at the existing documents that we have, the existing comprehensive plans, the city plans, housing assessment we did about 6-7 years ago, and took those into account, the public input that went into those kind of pieces. And then also, they took the actual data, what's on the ground, what the projections for population, median income, development over time, that kind of thing, and took that into account, as well as some stakeholder engagement. They met with groups representing the ag community, local industries, developers, elected officials, both city and county, and took their input and their expertise in developing this report. And then they came up with some general goals for the area based on what their findings were. Some of the key findings of the report. We have seen a recent change in population growth from 2000 to 2020. We experienced a significant amount of growth from 20 on. We were like a little bit stagnant, maybe even projected to fall a little bit. So we have that kind of trend going. Not only that, but we have a higher increase in the aging population, 55 and up. That's our highest growth sector of the population. And these are all going to point to things that they found as far as ability to have that we might need to build on. By the way, it's equivalent to about 1,200 extra 55 and older folks in our community to raise. Additionally, we have high inbound commuters, people coming into or a net importer for Decatur County. We have about a net of 4,500 commuters coming into Decatur County. What that does is show that we have potential for capturing them in Decatur County if we can give them the housing that they're looking for. I know some of the larger industries, their second highest employment comes from Marion. We're driving on I-75, I-74 every day. The other is obviously this is something that's nationwide, is the increase in housing costs. We have the median income for Decatur County is about $73,000. Median income for Greensburg is about 63. I have it downloaded, but I don't know where it is.
You can take the microphone too.
Yeah, cool. So anyway,
It even comes out of there
Yeah.
if you want to. You don't want to hold the stand. So this plan will lay out a way to try to help capture those folks, or what's
What it's going to do is provide us with a bit of data, essentially, to where we can go to developers, we can go and market ourselves, and actually to those folks, get a better idea of, again, what kind of diversity they want. We'll go into a little bit more, but the idea was that the more opportunities we have for housing, the greater mix of housing, the greater mix of choices, the better chance we have to market ourselves to some of those commuters to keep them in Decatur County. And again, receive the full benefit, especially if there's a shift towards, income taxes. If we're having commuters, they're going back home, and their income taxes are going largely to where they live.
the large part of the commuters, is that based upon, do we think they're working here, or is this also like some of the data that Erica pulls, like where they're coming here for baseball tournament or softball tournament?
This would be working.
So it's all working.
Yeah, just straight up workforce.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good question. You've seen.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, thanks.
You're the man.
And again, national trend as far as increased housing costs, rental prices have gone up, housing values have gone up, and it's no different here in Decatur County as well. And that could be a hindrance in people actually finding what they want. Combine that with the fact of 83% of our housing stock is single family in Decatur County. We're really focused mainly on that single family. Again, not too unusual for rural places in the Midwest, but it does provide an opportunity for us to maybe branch out and try to cast a wider net for those folks that are on not only different income levels, but also looking for different kind of living situations. And we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit more. And then we have going along with that, we have a little change in development patterns over the last 10 years. All the new development's really been, I think 81% has been single family housing. So we haven't really altered anything that we've done in the past. Though with that, I'll say, they did find a severe drop in vacancy rates, which also contributes to the high prices that you can receive. Again, more focus on diversity of housing can kind of open up that market a little bit more. So we'll go down to the stakeholder engagement, the key findings. When they did speak to the various groups. No, stakeholder. Okay, everybody liked the small town feel, the security of everything, the safety of Decatur County and Greensburg and St. Paul and Westport and New Point. But they also like the amenities, and they want more amenities, parks, walking trails, that sort of thing. We have strong school systems and what have you, but they said they feel that some people do leave the community because of the lack of amenities, so we need to continue to develop those. And in those amenities, they put in, certain shops, individual shops like coffee shops and those kind of things too. Those are considered, quality of life investment and infrastructure. They wanted to address blighted properties, which I believe the county has been doing, are attempting to do. We're focusing on some of those areas that have blighted properties, because those properties can bring down the property values. They said one of the issues is, even though those properties are blighted, owners often still keep the rents high, leading to vacancy, which obviously doesn't do anything for the buildings. And the property value, if you were going to buy them or anything, were also inflated too. So we have a bit of an issue there. Many rental units are in poor condition, and landlords lack the incentives to invest in them. So that's something that I think the county's been zeroed in on, as well as the town of Westport, and I think that could be looking even from a regional standpoint, from the Ready team, that I guess it's an issue that permeates this kind of region, so we want to address that as well. We want to encourage development. One of the things that was cited was, the development process in the county and the cities are pretty straightforward, fairly clear. But they did say, and this is, again, there's been some changes just in the process of doing this study. There was in the past some lack of consistent code enforcement. And that creates not only frustration with the developer, but also, it can be costly to the developer. So they encourage not only to be as clear as possible, but to be kind of regimented in how the process is done in both the county and city as much as possible. They said that would be an advantage. There's infrastructure constraints, particularly in St. Paul and New Point with water and wastewater, and those are things that need to be addressed if we're going to help those areas grow. And then the general, kind of high cost of land, materials, labor, which again is kind of nationwide, not just unique to Decatur County. The fourth one was the integrate housing and quality of life development. I think kind of goes without saying, but one of the things they stated was, again, referencing to amenities. When we do plan these amenities or we plan new housing projects, make sure they're connected to some of the amenities that make Decatur County and Greensburg and Westport and New Point, St. Paul all special. Make sure there's connectivity there. Not only just because of quality of life, walking paths and everything, getting to and from, but also a lot of the industries are saying many of the workers like to either walk, bike, etc. to work. Sometimes there are hindrances to people working simply due to transportation, and being able to connect them with another means of access is advantageous to the communities that have that infrastructure. So something to take in mind when we do talk about quality of life development. It's not just parks and green spaces and that. It's sometimes it's straight up infrastructure for transportation to and from work. So, and then at the end it says to develop a strategic plan for housing. I think that's something that's going to be covered pretty well in the comprehensive plan coming up, or I hope to push for that. So we want to make sure that that's a big topic that we cover in that during that process. Let's see. Did I get through? Yeah, I guess I did. Okay, I guess I addressed them. Any question? I know there's a lot of content in here, and I tried to keep it quick for you guys. And this is just a brief overview. If there are any questions or anything like that, Connor from TPMA, and I forgot to plug Thomas P. Miller and Associates who did this. It was covered by a collaboration between the city, the county, and the respective redevelopment commissions, a great cooperative effort to get something like this done. Any questions, any thoughts that I might pretend to answer?
When you talk about housing, we talk about single-family homes. Are you referring to mostly apartment?
No, single-family homes
Just,
would
are you
be
talking
the.
about just a single-family residential?
Yeah, and I feel like I
Okay.
skipped a whole. I might have skipped it. Anyway, to talk about the senior aspect, actually, I might have. Well, that's why it glitched. Okay. Yeah, one of the things with the rising senior homes is, and the need for additional diversity, one of the things we do not have is that medium density. We're talking duplexes, the townhomes, the specialized neighborhoods. Some have 55 and above neighborhoods where everything's kind of, strategically placed out and easily accessible. We don't have anything like that, and anything close to that in Decatur County is actually full. An example of something like that gearing towards the senior living would be Crown Point out on South 421, which I think has been full for some time. We don't have that type of diversity. Those kind of the duplex homes and the townhomes and stuff, what they've found is not only attractive to seniors, but also to those recent graduates who can't take on a full single-family home. Don't want the big multifamily. They don't want the maintenance of taking care of that, but they also don't want to be in a gigantic apartment complex. They want that in between experience. So, you know, kind of concentrating, looking for opportunities in the duplex, the townhome kind of structure. Again, ideally close to, you know, centralized, you know, to the area where it might be, you know, connected by walking paths or what have you. That seems to be a real attractive housing situation for not only the seniors, but also the recent grads. You know, and those are the recent grads that are coming to work for, you know, Delta Faucet, Honda, and those kind of thing, Nipro and such. So it's a kind of a dual market attraction right there with those kinds of, and they're affordable too. Or you can make them in such a way. I think they were asking, target rent is trying to get below $1,000 a month. For single-family housing, they suggested, I believe, in between 180 and 350. That housing market there, which is a pretty wide market if you think about it, but that's what we're kind of lacking. But to just and don't shun, you know, multi-family housing or anything. We need that mix as well. With that kind of you know, wide net, shall we say? I think they feel that they can attract not only employees for our local industry, but also that younger group, even younger entrepreneurs, again, who really don't have the financial backing to put a down payment on a single-family house or anything like that, but something in between. We might be able to attract some more of those. But yeah, when we talk about single-family, we're talking about the traditional white picket fence and everything. Multifamily would be large apartment complexes, condos. Yeah. Bill, can you get that? No, thanks. Just kidding. Yeah. Just throw it on the floor. Sorry. I apologize in advance. Anyway, that would be.
But you're gonna take it.
Yeah, I gotta take it.
Excuse me.
And then by that medium density, we're talking townhomes and duplexes and that sort of thing. So it is. One of the cool things they also did in the study, and I can encourage you guys to take a look, and it'll be up on the websites. I'll be giving this presentation tomorrow, hopefully a little bit smoother for the council as well as to the city council and to the respective RDCs. But they do have some benchmarking communities that they compared us to measure their diversity in housing compared to where we are, and you can see that we're significantly lower on what we offer. So that's about it. Encourage everybody to take a look. If you have any questions whatsoever, I know that the city is looking into building on this and possibly doing a retail gap study for the city of Greensburg anyway, and jumping on some of the findings in here. So I hope we do the same with the comprehensive plan. I think this kind of helps influence where that goes.
I think it shows a lot of opportunities for us
Yeah.
for those and maybe targets and gives us more specific, narrows those things down to what we should look at.
Well, and it helps.
Comprehensive plan will definitely steer us in that direction as well.
I think this helps us. It helps developers take a look at, okay, what would work here in Decatur County and the respective towns and cities. But also it helps us be able to attract those developers also that might specialize in duplexes, townhomes, or assisted living neighborhoods, that sort of thing. So it gives us some good food for thought and backs it up with some stats and data. Yep. So it's great.
That's good.
All right.
Thank you very much, Brian.
Thanks. And let's see if I can get this on.
We can just shut the projector off if you want, Chris.
There we go. Thanks. Sorry about the technical stuff.
Not at all. All right, Leanne from Communications. Good morning.
I'm just here for the final part of moving forward with our upgrade on the 911 system. just trying to, I sent you all the contracts, support and maintenance, and also the equipment purchase. I had Josh look it over thoroughly as well. Obviously, a lot of that was gonna involve him to make sure, he didn't see any issues with it. Just a couple of things to point out on that support and maintenance contract. Currently, we pay already $23,000, a little over $23,000 a year. And what the maintenance is gonna be for this new system is the same, is just a little over $23,000. The other thing to take, on that equipment purchase, when you look at it, obviously it is a big number, that 223,000, but that's already got half of that first year's maintenance already built into that as well. But did you guys have any questions? Upon signing, we will have to put down 50%. Obviously, this was something we started, obviously going through the 911 board and everything that we have to do to get the quotes and everything first part of the year. I'm glad to see it coming to fruition here at the end of the year, but the monies that we just moved, obviously we're gonna probably have to do again, next year, because it's gonna go back to the general. Then we'll have to move it back to finalize it in the spring, but at least we can get going on it. But I have copies if you guys need those for the signing. Do you guys need those?
I didn't have any questions. Did you guys?
I did not.
Yeah. Yeah, I could go ahead and use some copies there, Lee.
Okay. I think they're requiring all 3 signatures.
Okay.
I've also got another copy if you need, if you want to keep an original as well.
A copy's fine, isn't it, Christy? Yeah, so I'll give them to her
And
to
then
get a
she'll give
copy.
you the originals back.
Yep.
All right, I appreciate it, thank you.
All right, first with the equipment purchase and sale agreement, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the purchase and sale agreement.
And that was the one that was for the total of $223,163.23. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, motion carries. All right, and then up next, we have the support and maintenance agreement in the amount of $23,084.31. I'll go ahead and make a motion that we accept this support and maintenance agreement. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Leanne.
welcome. Been a process, hasn't it?
Well, at least it's coming to an end.
Yeah.
All right, next on the agenda is the opening of the bids. It's not 9 o'clock yet, so we'll come back to that. We have the RDC annual spending plan for 2026. Don?
Or Don?
Yeah. Hopefully you have a copy of
Yep.
this, I think. And what we do, we have to prepare an annual spending plan required by the state. I'll just go through it real quick. It shows projects authorized under our economic development plan at 5.7 million. Now, that's not what we're spending as such this year, but that's what is available for us to spend. In that amount, we have roughly $4 million in our accounts right now, and we'll get another 1.7 million in excess revenues this year. So that's the 5.7. Of that 5.7, we have already committed 600,000 to 3 different projects. That includes the storage building for the Emergency Management Association, and also some money for the Parks and Rec baseball complex, and also for the Fairgrounds community building. We've committed funds for those 3 projects. The other item that we had listed as an expense is there is an agreement with the city of Greensburg to share those excess funds from the Honda area, and that's another 1.5 million that their RDC will get this year in this process, but that's listed under our overall project. And the last item is debt bond service on the bonds that were issued back in 2006 to cover all the infrastructure things, and that's another $2.1 million this year, bond payment. So, and we do have administrative expenses of $15,000 a year we can spend. So all total, that's $9.5 million that we could spend this year. I don't think we will, but we could spend that much this year. So we tried to be responsible in those excess funds, and that $4 million that we have in the bank, we tried to be responsible with that. Do you have any questions on that?
I don't. It's fantastic how you guys are able to spread around to different projects to help different areas in the community.
Yeah, it's great to see how our community is growing and improving. So we're glad to be part of it.
Very good.
Well, we appreciate all your hard work and due diligence. When
Yes, thank you.
looking at those dollars, that's a big responsibility, and we appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you, Don.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, next we have the commercial vehicle excise tax. There was some change from the legislation at the state for where the funds need to be dispersed or where exactly they need to be deposited at. The information that we received from Christy was that it can either go into county general, continue as before, we go to a different location. If it goes into the general fund, there doesn't have to be any other type of formal action, but if we change it, we need to have some kind of ordinance in place or a resolution to make that official. Before, it had been distributed between county general, reassessment, Cume Bridge, the health department, Parks and Rec, and Cume Cap, all of them getting a percentage.
Make a recommendation just to put it in general fund.
That's where I'm at too.
Might as well.
Yeah, I'm in the same area. So I'll make a motion then to go ahead and put all of the excise tax into county general.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Up next, we have board appointments for the hospital. It looks like from the letter that they'd sent over to us last week, Malcolm Myers and Tammy Williams, their terms are up at the end of this year. Their recommendation is that we vote to reappoint both of them back onto the hospital board. Any discussion starting with those 2 reappointments?
I think those are 2 good candidates that can stay on and do a good job.
I'll make a motion then that we reappoint both Malcolm Myers and Tammy Williams.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye. And those opposed, motion carries. And then there was a vacancy, and their recommendation is to fill that vacancy with Andrew Stewart. His term would be January 1, 2026 until January 1, 2029. Any discussion?
No, I don't have any discussion concerning Andrew.
All right, I'll make a motion to go ahead and appoint Andrew to the hospital board.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, motion carries. For the fairgrounds project, I'd like to have a discussion about how exactly we're going to get all the tables and chairs up on the mezzanine. We need some kind of forklift or telehandler to be able to lift the racks of tables from the event space to get them up out of the way. And so I want to know from you guys, I know some of the discussions have been that we want to make sure that we avoid tires that can leave marks on the concrete. What else do you guys want to see? It's a 12-foot lift from the floor of the event space to the mezzanine. I don't have an exact figure on how much the racks will weigh with the tables and the chairs, but we need to make sure that we have a high enough lift capacity, not just in height, but also weight rating, to be able to lift them up there. I also want something that we can use around the fairgrounds, and if we need it, other areas for the county. So it's not just a dedicated new community building piece of equipment. It's something that we can use other places. Yeah.
Well, my first concern is, and when we're looking at this, is that we make sure that we purchase something that is for that not the minimal amount, but make sure that it does get the height that we need, the weight that we need, but go over that just to, enough that it's not at its max capacity. And I like the idea of a forklift in there because of the maneuverability and not marring and or marking the floor with the tires. You can get those non-skid rubber tires on a forklift to be able to do that. You did mention something about a telehandler, which is a bigger piece of equipment.
Much bigger, yeah.
And not really viable for that use to move tables
It would
and chairs
definitely be
around.
cumbersome in there.
Yes.
It would,
But it would be definitely beneficial to use
elsewhere.
elsewhere throughout the fairgrounds.
Yep.
If needed. So, I mean, we're talking two pieces of equipment. Because I think if we use, the forklift would almost stay in the community building and or moved out of there and not needed there. I don't know about using that. They're two different types of equipment.
They are. I mean, I think that we would still be able to use the forklift if we had a box on the front to be able to lift people up, because I know during the fair prep, we are having to use a telehandler or something else, another piece of equipment to get people up in the air to hang signs or work on lights or fans or anything like that. So, I mean, it's definitely a piece of equipment that we need out there. We're relying on either a local business donating that, or we're having to go out and rent a piece of equipment. And with this new building, we can't rent a piece of equipment every time we need to get the tables and chairs up and down. I think that the telehandler overall is more useful at the fairgrounds, but I am concerned about the floors, moving that big piece of equipment on the floors, because I mean, we want this place to remain nice, and I don't want to see tread marks all over the floor.
It's nice too, if we go with a forklift inside the building, we can use propane instead of having
Yep.
diesel fumes
Yes.
in there.
Yeah.
That's true.
And
That's true. I didn't think about that.
I've looked and I can't find I'm guessing there's probably a reason that I can't find it, but I can't find non-marking telehandler tires. It's just too big of a piece of equipment, and that's not what it's designed for. So
Considered a four-cover loading.
that's one more thing that we'd have to roll in and roll out. Yeah. Because when you have the tables and chairs out already, you wouldn't be able to have the cover there. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about it. From my non-engineering background here, the concern with the lift is stability getting up and down. If you're going from a ceiling mounted lift, we talked about a floor lift, and that was getting pricey, I think was the consideration there, to actually have basically like a floor jack. So that wasn't, at the end of the day, I don't think that was going to be feasible for what we were looking for.
I mean, used forklifts aren't very expensive.
No, I mean, you can find them from $10,000 to $100,000, depending on if you're going from used to the biggest, newest, fanciest piece of equipment. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that we can probably find one local. Any thoughts or feelings, new versus used?
Definitely used.
Okay.
Definitely used, definitely propane. We have an outlet here locally,
Yep.
that we can purchase it from, so I think that's the direction I would go.
Okay.
I don't think we need a brand new one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll try to get some numbers pulled together, and hopefully we can get a move on that before the end of this year. We are still not at 9 o'clock, so let's just do our around the room discussion. Don.
Good morning. Thank you all for attending the 2025 annual dinner and cash prize fundraiser. And for those who were in the room who also attended, we saw, I need to go back and do an exact count, but probably 240 community leaders in that room at once, which was great. I know by the time I stepped off the stage, as we were beginning entertainment, I was made aware of about 3 to 5 different business collaborations that happened that night. So that is really, really cool to see and to hear about. We do have Leaders and Loggers tomorrow night again here at the TAP, here on the north side from 4 to 6. We'll be talking about fire safety, serve Madison Lawrenceburg and sales. So I think that's a very timely topic, considering the holiday season that we're getting ready to enter. And then watch our social media for more. We've also got some Small Business Saturday coming up, and some different events in December as well. So we've got some big ideas that actually relate very timely to what Brian was talking about in business and
Very good. Thank you, Don. It was a great event. Leanne, anything else from 911?
We've got 3M training.
Good.
Then we've got 3M training that is extended longer to complete our staff roster.
Okay.
Last week, CSB Road, we had excited. We're excited for that freedom.
Awesome. Very good. Thank you. Abby, what about court services? Yeah. No update? Everything's running along, humming along like a finely tuned machine?
Everything's coming along. We were told that community correction, DOC is looking
They're closing prisons, releasing people quicker, and cutting local community corrections budgets. It's a great plan. All right. Ken, how are things over at the Veterans Office?
Doing great. Just a couple things going on tomorrow. I'll be heading down to Indiana Veteran Memorial Cemetery. We had a veteran that passed here locally that had no family, so we have it. And then just a couple of great events that we had last week. Veterans Day parade was awesome, but then Veterans Day, the foundation invited me over. They give away gift cards every year to the veterans who come in and invited me over there. So I was over there the whole day of Veterans Day there in her office, and we passed out. I think we saw 80 something veterans that came through and had a chance to talk with them and hand out business cards. And I would say 50% or more have never even been to a DSO to work on compensations. So great event. Next year we're actually going to plan that event. We're in my office because it's a bigger office where hopefully we'll be able to have more veterans come out and sit around and swap stories. It was a great time to sit around with those veterans. And then thanks to Dawn for inviting me last Wednesday to the radio station for a Chamber of Commerce segment. And just had a good hour or so there just sitting around talking and on the radio about what we do and how we're trying to help veterans in our community and about the land that we just purchased that hopefully will be up and running by the first of the year with transportation. So, other than that,
Fantastic. It's great to hear
There's your
you.
next leaders and loggers right there.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Gabe,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, I have something too, just real quick. So I wanted to announce that we are moving forward with blueprints and design work for the pool. We do have our first large commitment that has been presented to us, and we're working on several avenues for funding, but at least that we're excited to be moving forward in the right direction. Wanted to officially say that.
Mike?
continuing evaluate potential maintenance contracts for major sites. Really hard process. We have a but it's not. We have more questions. A lot of back and forth email and phone call discussing additional details.
But the price is getting better.
It is. It is. That's true.
That's good.
So it's still working on it. Hopefully better.
Good job. Good job. Kevin, anything on the insurance front? Good. Okay. Very good. Sheriff? Good morning, sir.
Because there has been so much attention paid to sheriffs and commissary, I want to be transparent. We're getting ready to make a purchase out of commissary. That fits the Indiana code under equipment. Our current balance in the commissary is $112,000 and some change. So what we're going to purchase is patrol rifles for all of our cars. We currently have 4 different types of patrol rifles, in our cars. We're going to get it to one platform for each car, so it's continuous against all of our cars. So again, the bottom line price for trade-ins is $40,300. That includes optic sights on them. So again, once we make this purchase, we're going to have the same gun in every car in case for some reason we need to swap cars or swap guns or whatever the case may be. So I just want to make you aware of that in case you have any questions. Again, it's under my discretion according to Indiana code. So it's a purchase I think we need to make. So again, it's just information for you, unless you have any questions.
Does all cars currently have a long gun in them?
We do.
Okay.
Some guys are carrying their own.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
My understanding was that I know that talking to law enforcement, some of them have their own gun.
they do.
Okay.
So again, we want one platform across the whole system.
Okay.
That's our goal.
Very good.
All right, thank you.
Janet?
Critical training suite. We have an election conference next month here for next year's election.
had a conversation about that at the EMA meeting with Mike, and we had a discussion about how do we navigate that this year with the early voting. The CIT team is currently in that space. Yes, so some of the thought process is that the mayor has offered the possibility of using a room in the city hall for CIT to move over there for a short period of time, and then you still using the space that we have in the annex for the voting, early voting, where it was last year. So keeping that space, because we were concerned as we talked that it's bounced around a lot, the early voting space, and people get confused on where it is. So we want to keep that there at the annex. But we've got to figure out what to do with the CIT. And I don't know, Bill, you probably have not heard this. Okay, but this is an option that we're looking into. And because of what's going to happen is the CIT is going to move into where the solid waste is when they move out. And the solid waste is currently working on moving as well to the street department. So there's a lot of pieces moving around. But the mayor has offered as a possibility, there's an open room where the fire training room was, if you know that where that is, in City Hall in the back corner, to use that for CIT. I don't believe the hallway is viable for voting. Yeah. And that area that we have currently is handicap accessible. That's a key for early voting. It has to be handicap accessible. So, again, this is a discussion we talked about, but nothing has been.
We didn't realize that they were here. We just had an election because we moved that.
Yeah. We're working on that. Pardon me?
What about the EOC?
Well, we talked about that, but it's not, well, they would have to enter into the handicap accessible area. Gary, you've explained this. We talked about this, but the EOC is not handicap accessible. So they have to come through, is that correct?
What we're talking about is how to come into the door that we have put in, handicap accessible. They come down the hallway, go into the gym, you would use some type of dividers to divide off half the gym so that they could still use the front part for meetings and the back part for the early voting. Then when they went out the back door, there is a ramp from that cement to the parking lot again. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, that's why I was just like saying,
It was just a thought.
no matter what, it has to be, yeah.
Your voting machines have to be locked up. Yeah. Right, right.
You mean at night?
Yes.
But we could, I mean, worst case CIT could go to have their half of that room, right? I mean, there's something, like, I'm sure we can figure that out. I don't know why this would be that,
I think we'll be able to have it
Yeah,
there.
I don't-
Figure out a way to accommodate. Yeah.
this shouldn't be that hard to navigate, to clear this room out to make it available.
How long a time period do you guys have early voting there?
It starts April 9th.
Right. For 1 month, right? Isn't it about 30 days? Is that right, Patricia?
Right around, yeah. Because we have the Saturdays that we have to be there.
Yeah.
Up until the day before election.
Right. Yeah, we've got to get on that. Yeah. Well, we were trying to keep from moving it around, just because of the, I know people go into City Hall, they're like, we're going to early vote. No, we're not early voting. And it has been confusing because it's been moved.
Was the courthouse,
People come here a lot to do early voting. So that's what we're trying to do is keep it in one spot. Mhm. Right. We'll work on that and see if we can get all parties in agreement so we can keep it there.
So, Sheriff, do you want to investigate the location at the city to see if that will provide what your CIT folks need for a month?
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. Correct.
Probably.
That's an option.
There's not that much stuff in there that she has anyway. She's gonna be spending the most amount of her time over there at the new building come
Yeah, I mean,
first of the year.
That was the thought is that transition's gonna happen, soon
Right.
with the
I mean,
new building.
it's not, construction won't be completed
No.
No,
by
but,
election,
no,
by the election.
That was, I understand what you're saying.
Because the new solid waste building won't be complete by this time. Plans are going to be approved, I think, soon for that, but
I think that's really doable.
how many machines are you guys using? That'll fit. Five voting machines.
No,
No,
they're
keep-
saying move CIT to solid waste now and continue to use the same room they already.
I think that'll work. I mean,
Yeah.
we had discussed that early on of splitting that office early on with them. So, yeah, I think that'll work.
We have to put Stephanie somewhere.
I don't know. We'll figure that out. All right. Well, thanks for that. It's great. It's good. Very good.
I'm glad you brought that up because we did have that discussion at the EMA meeting. Like, what's
Get there.
Gary and Mike are like, okay, what are we doing with the early voting?
We'll get there.
So, yeah.
Doug, anything else? Okay. Chris, anything from? I know. I'm just finishing this. Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Done with our. Okay.
About the CCMG grant.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think there's a lot of I's and T's that are crossed in each application. I don't know how Kathy's doing today.
Okay. All right. Well, fingers crossed.
They approved the first 100 days. And there was 258 days out of it submitted in applications.
All right, so the bids for the general reassessment of real property for the assessor's office, we have 3 separate bids: Tyler Technologies, Ad Valorem Solutions, and Vision Government Solutions. First one I have up here is Vision Government Solutions. Sealed quite nicely. All right. Looks like it's multiple copies here. Their offer it looks like is $509,540. That's what it looks like. 509,540. This was Vision Government Solutions. Assessments, property assessments. Up next, we have, I'll find out when I open it. This one is from Ad Valorem. On the cover page of this one, it looks like their bid price is $486,720. $486,720. And then last one here is Tyler Technologies. Yes, Tyler. And it looks like their bid price is $476,100. $476,100.
Doreen, who has the current contract?
Ad Valorem Solutions.
Okay. You happy with them?
I am.
Well, we'll have to take a look at these, get you a copy of, there's 4 binders for each. So we can take a look at them, and
It's got a lot to go through.
there's a lot there, yep.
Yeah.
And then we can make a decision at our next meeting. All right, I have checked off everything on my agenda. Anything else for you, gentlemen?
One other question for Doreen. Doreen, you've, how long have you been in office?
24 years.
Okay, what other companies have you used prior to Ad Valorem?
The companies that we have used in the past have been ARC and another one, Accurate Assessments,
Okay.
which is not a.
None of these other two, Tyler or Vision, you have not used these prior to? Okay, all right. Ad,
AD.
A-D-V-A-L-O-R-E-M, Ad Valorem.
Doreen, can you send us a copy of the RFP, so that way we can make sure that we have compliance with the different proposals that we have here? All right, thank you very much. Anything else for you guys? Anything else for the good of the order? All right, I'd entertain a motion to recess then.
So moved.
We are recessed. Have a great rest of your week, folks.